Hey guys, I'm going to tell you some tips for getting out of the psych ward. So, sometimes after you leave, and this is my personal experience, you have a hard time being away from the place. So, I went back in February of 2023 and I remember uh, crying one time because I missed the psych ward. So, first of all, you need to make a change. That's probably one of the biggest things is that you have to make a change after you leave. You can't go back and your life is exactly the same, okay? You might have new medications, you might have all sorts of new things. So you're going to want to make a change. Whether that's changing your environment, changing your room, changing your routines. Your medications have probably changed. Maybe they haven't. Maybe you're not on any at all. Maybe you're on a bunch of them. But my thing is, things have to change, because if you go back to exactly the same way things were before, like you get out of the psych ward, you were isolating yourself a bunch before and you go right back to isolating yourself too much, there's going to be a big problem and you're going to end up getting worse again. So, yes, it's okay to take some time off right after you get out, like a day or two or however long you need to get back into the swing of things, because getting out of the psych ward can be really hard. It's an artificial environment, and I understand how that is. So, for coping with getting out of the psych ward, first, what you're going to want to do is first, I want you to think about what you miss about the place. For me, it was the nurses, the activities, the respect, the lack of stress, the staff, the other patients, and so many other things there. The scrubs were comfy. I enjoyed the grippy socks. So for me, if you had a positive experience or not, you might miss the place. Some people missed the chaos of it. Some people liked how unchaotic it was. Next, I want you to use healthy coping skills. I hope you learned some healthy coping skills while you were there, and I want you to use those. So, I may talk about things. So, when I'm upset, I talk things out with other people, especially adults, because they seem to understand and be really good about that when I'm distressed or upset. And I find somebody who knows that I went there, or somebody who understands, and then I talk about it. So if you found someone who's been to a psych ward, respect people's privacy, don't be exchanging information. But if for some reason you happen to find that person on the outside, or find a person that was there, no sharing personal information, by the way. Most places are against it anyways. Try talking to them about it. Share your experience. Ask if they can help. Share if they're struggling with it. Share your experience. And sometimes a way I cope is watching psych ward videos of people who have been to psych wards, especially the animated ones. I really like those. So try checking out some of those. For me, I didn't need to go back at the time. Now, I did not need to go back. I was there in February. I was happy. I was healthy. Well, until I did. I got admitted again on Wednesday, May 24th. So very recently, I just got out yesterday, in fact, and was scripting this video while I was in there, actually. And remember, if you need to go back, that's always okay. I've been there twice so far. So biggest takeaways, talk it out, use your healthy coping skills, make some change. It can't be exactly the same as before you went in. Whether it's your work schedule, find your stressors. If it's stress that contributed at all, find your stressors. For example, if you had a really hefty work schedule, you gotta take care of that. Do what you can to make your life not stressful, especially right after you get out. You don't want to jump right back in. Don't jump off the high dive. You want to step into the pool gently, I guess is a weird metaphor, but now, third, also cope healthily. Use your healthy ways to cope. Third, you're going to want to try to recreate what you can. Now, that may be, I don't know, printing off coloring sheets, drawing with chalk outside if you did that, doing more art projects, making friends who've been there before, Not while you're on the inside, but like if you know people who have been to a psychiatric hospital, a mental hospital, a psych ward, whatever you want to call them, maybe try to befriend those people. And you can share each other's experiences if they're comfortable. If they're not comfortable, do not force them. But join different groups. Like, let's say, go to therapy. Let's say group therapy and groups were very helpful to you. Find some more groups like that. They exist on the outside. They might be farther away from you. For example, I don't have any super duper close. I have to travel at least an hour to find groups. But do what you can. Do what's best for you. I hope this really helps. Make a lot of things that you can do and keep it handy. Use those coping skills. Don't forget them. If you don't use them, you will forget them or could forget them. And keep those handy. You got this. And if you need to rewatch this video, that's always okay too. Here, I'll even show you. So this is my list of things I can do for after I get out if I'm kind of distressed about it. So I can speak to somebody who knows. I can talk to my friend, hang out with them, be happy. Just try your best with that. Find a support group, talk to my therapist, my parents, surround myself with acceptance, do projects and activities I did there, cathartic things, so things that are therapeutic. Don't isolate too long. That's a big one. Remember the things you can do now that you couldn't do then. Like for now, for example, I really like sewing. We're not allowed to have sharp objects there. So I can finally sew. I can write my music. Other than just writing lyrics, I can actually record and do all of that kind of stuff. I've been really into writing music lately. I can logically process these thoughts before making any actions, distract myself, and recreate what I can. And remember, time is a big thing. Not Time Magazine, but time is a big thing that you can use, you need, essentially. It'll take time to get used to being away from the place. When you first get out, you're probably going to miss it a lot. Over time, you'll hopefully miss it less. But if you need to go back, that's always okay, like I said. But remember, you can do this, okay? Always reach out for help when you need it, though, okay? I wish you luck in the real world.